I find it very disappointing that you're not discussing the fact that 93% of blacks in America are killed by other blacks. We're talking about the exception here.
Well, look, first of all,
go ahead, Michael. No, but this is about a distrust issue.
We are talking about the significant exception. 93% of blacks are killed by other blacks.
One of the more discussed issues of the Ferguson shooting involves the racial makeup of the local police department. And what is then a greater discourse on racial makeup around the country? How are police departments supposed to keep a level average of majority and minority if they can't recruit enough people who want to be officers? Let's welcome back to MidPoint, a Los Angeles native who spent 20 years serving the community as a member of the LA Police Department, working in the uber-tough crash unit, detailing her experiences in the autobiography, The Question or the Creation of a Manifesto, Black and Blue. Cheryl Dorsey. Sergeant, thanks so much for being here again.
Hi, Ed. Thank you for having me.
Sergeant, it's a good point when we come down to what Rudy Giuliani was talking about and so many others when we talk about the racial makeup. And I had looked at a number of different articles over the weekend and looked at Hispanic, white, black, and how it really is not fair in even the major cities that there are some disparities. So the question that immediately came to mind is, how do the police departments create that racial equality if they simply can't find enough or can't recruit enough people, whether it be Hispanic, Asian, blacks, who want to serve as police department members?
Well, you know, I don't know what their outreach is like for the minority community, but clearly it's not working if they do have an outreach program in terms of recruitment. And so they're going to have to drastically change the way they go out and solicit for police officer candidates.
How do you then do that is the big question, because you have to go out and convince people to become a member of law enforcement and put their lives on the line. That's very difficult when you look into a lot of these neighborhoods. White, black, blue makes no difference.
Well, I don't think you have to go out and convince people. I just think you need to make yourself available where the people are. Surely you don't want anyone on the department that doesn't want to be there. You want quality officers who want to come and serve that community. And so I don't know where they're conducting their outreach, but they need to be where the masses are, be where that talent is. I don't believe that there's not a significant talent pool from which to pick from. They just need to make themselves known to that group.
Do you get the feeling that even here in the 21st century, 2014, that there are police departments, whether they be small, medium, large, whatever, who specifically somewhere in that hierarchy say, we don't want to hire a lot of blacks, we don't want to hire a lot of Hispanics, we want to keep it white? Do you think there's still those people out there?
Well, I'd like to hope that that doesn't exist. And then again, you know, we have to look at what is the disqualifier. What are they using as reasons to make people no longer eligible? Is it that old how many bubbles are there in a bar of soap situation, or is it fair across the board? That would be something to look at. What is the criteria that you're requesting?
The criteria now in Ferguson that they have to get ready is all they've done, National Guard, police preparedness. Reverend Jesse Jackson was quoted this weekend in USA Today saying there's a full court press to put down an uprising around Ferguson, but no preparation for lifting up the people there. But from a police standpoint, isn't it proper and necessary to take the sort of actions that you have right now to try and protect the citizenry?
Well, obviously, you know, the police department doesn't want to be caught offhand without the resources that they need. And I beg to differ that there aren't efforts made to try to do this peacefully. I'm hearing on social media and in the news, and I don't know if it's true, that, you know, there's a couple of different venues and outlets that are available for peaceful protests. And so I don't think that, you know, that there isn't a fair and equitable balance in terms of what's expected of the people.
We are still awaiting that grand jury decision. I've got a little bit over a minute left, and this has happened recently, but I need to ask your opinion as a law enforcement professional. A 12-year-old boy shot by Cleveland police over the weekend was wielding an air gun. They usually have a red point, a red plug in the barrel of the gun, which basically tells police and anybody else that it's fake. That had been removed. The police shot and killed this young man. What's your initial reaction?
You know, it's real unfortunate, and I have to, as a parent and as a law enforcement officer, I have to put the onus on the parents of that child. You know, why would you, in this climate, allow a 12-year-old to play with anything that looked even close to resembling a real handgun, rifle, air gun, whatever?
There will be an investigation here, but undoubtedly, and again, I'm going to ask for your professionalism and your professional expertise here, somebody of any age waving a gun these days. We've seen 12-year-olds shoot people in schools before, so the police are basically doing, when they're trained to look for that red dot, they don't see it. they then need to take that sort of action, correct?
Well, I'm not going to second guess a weapon that's pointed at me to determine whether or not it has a pink nozzle or not. If you point a weapon at anyone, then, you know, you kind of get what you deserve. And so I'm not saying that this young man deserved to die, but no. I'm just bothered by him playing with a gun.
I absolutely agree. We're not saying that he deserved to die. No one deserves anything like that, but I certainly think that your comments made about parents and in this atmosphere of playing with guns that we live in today, that certainly is very, very important. Sergeant, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. A reminder again, her book is called The Creation of a Manifesto, Black and Blue. Always a pleasure again. Have a great holiday, Sergeant.
Thank you, Ed. You do the same. Talk to you soon.
Take care. After a short break, round the dial for immigration, Ferguson, Cosby, and a whole lot more.